If you'd like to participate in the discussion or leave us feedback, you can contact us at levelupyourgamingpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/levelupyourgaming. If you like the content and want to hear more of the show, subscribing will ensure you don't miss an episode. New episodes come out almost every Wednesday. Also, please review, tell a friend about the podcast, or share with your gaming group. Now sit back and enjoy the episode.
Welcome to the Level Up Gaming Podcast. My name is Aaron, and joining me once again, I have Josh. Josh, how you doing today?
I'm here. You know, it's already been a week. We're not going to go into current events because I know these things don't ever show up anywhere near current events.
Yes,
but it's been a week.
It's just a wild time. You can listen back. You just think of a crazy week that's happened recently, and that's the week that we're recording.
No, not that crazy week. The other crazy week.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, but also like work's been busy, and I was just telling you before we start recording. Last night my gaming group, we all got together. It's not my turn to GM, but Roll20 was down, so I had to throw together an entire game from scratch. Luckily, I had some pre-gen stories that I could just load in and run it. But it got me thinking. Maybe it would behoove us to have a couple of stories on deck at any time in case you were asked to run something.
Exactly, and that's why we have the Let's Make a One-Shot series.
Ooh, that sounds like a fantastic idea. Why don't we do one of those?
Yes. And today, our prompt is A Date with Destiny.
Ooh, a date with Destiny. I like it. Okay, I'm going to throw something out here. Destiny's a real person. Destiny's a god, and you've got another god that wants to go on a date with Destiny, and your party has to make it happen.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I was thinking it was going to be a person, and I was thinking that the theme of the game should be like a dating show, like man behind the curtain sort of thing, date with Destiny, yeah, kind of thing.
like a whole game show, not like
yes, like the game show, not like Love Is Blind or something like that. Like we're talking like
but like Survivor.
Like Survivor type game show, where you got like contestant number 1, tell me a little bit.
Like The Bachelorette meets what's that old Japanese game show where they threw the giant foam rocks at people and they made them jump over stuff.
What?
Do you remember that? Oh man, that was such a great show. Came on late at night. Oh, whatever. I'll look it up later. But yes, I think a date with Destiny, where Destiny is, the embodiment of Destiny, and either the party or some other god wants to go on a date. And I think it would be really funny if, like, Destiny's ex, fate, or like bad luck, or something like that, was out there trying to sabotage the entire time.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Not in a murder way, just in a let's make sure none of this works.
Okay, I could see like the pettiness of a god who like demands that you like get them into a date with Destiny. Like they know it's one of the contestants behind the curtain, and that like you will suffer greatly if you do not achieve the date with Destiny.
Yeah.
And then you've got the trickster side of things, which is the X is actively trying to prevent you from getting to the date with Destiny, but as the name implies, the date with Destiny, it will work out. So
how about this? How about the party meets a guy at the bar, And this is the X. You don't know he's a god. He's just looking for some suckers. Because Destiny is about ready to she's willing to date again, and always, as Destiny does, it will be Destiny that whoever completes my gauntlet will go on the date with me. And he doesn't want any of the other gods. So he's going to throw a bunch of some schlubs, the party in, and the party has to survive the gauntlet to get the date.
Okay, I like it. I like it because now we're enacting it. The party should be the ones who win the date with Destiny, even though the other gods are trying to compete and win the date with Destiny.
Mm-hmm. And since they're just mortals, they're competing as a one group with gods that they're fighting against.
Yes.
That sounds lots of fun. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
So the hook is. The hook is who is Destiny's X? It doesn't need to be a trickster god, although that would be hilarious.
Let's see. Destiny is inevitable. So what would be the opposite of that?
Loki. Like Destiny has broken up with.
It's almost like you like made a deal with the god of uncertainty.
Hold on, I'm gonna Google who has dated the god of Destiny.
All right, let's let Google help us out here a little bit. No, I think this is a good hook. So, the god.
Fates. The Fates. Fortuna.
The god.
Nope.
Whatever it's called. Wants you to compete in a competition to win a date with Destiny
in Greek
the other gods.
In the Greek primordial, goddess of fate, whose partner was Kronos, not the Titan.
Okay.
I mean,
time
sounds hilarious. Like somebody who can alter time and give the party an edge against gods. Sounds like a thing.
Okay, yeah, I like it. So this guy wants you to compete in this competition to win a date with Destiny against the other gods who are also trying to win her favor. The genre and setting for this.
I think this would be fairly classic fantasy, with maybe a little emphasis on Greek or Roman. Terms of style,
adding a little bit of the style there, like it feels like this is like you against the Pantheon.
Yeah, this is definitely something Zeus would have done. Like,
yes,
Hera's mad at me, so I'm just going to enlist a bunch of morons from the bar to go and run her gauntlet against the other gods to make everyone look stupid. Yeah, sounds like a great time. But I don't necessarily think it needs to start out there. Like, this could be a hook that you just drop into an existing game, like during downtime. Like, you've completed your mission, your party is out at a bar, they run into some bearded dude who looks weird because he's wearing a toga. Suddenly, boom. Now they're facing off against the gods.
And I almost feel like it's sort of got to be like a little bit of a rug pull. So you agreed to go and compete to win a date with Destiny, and he would describe it as that that there's a competition to win a date with this woman Destiny, and all these people are going to be competing. I really don't want any of them to succeed. I'd like you to help me out. I know this is a bit of a sob story, but if you could really help me out, it'd be great. I just need you to join a competition. Doesn't describe what's going on or anything like that. And the moment the players agree and there's a handshake, players are immediately transported to the field.
they're on Mount Olympus. It's sky and clouds around them. There's giant gods in glowing robes. You can see, just the whole pantheon is arrayed across, and there you are, a bunch of mortals stuck there, and Kronos goes and does his thing. He's like, "Hey,"
and what they'll say is they'll say, "This is your stand-in, Crow."
I would never compete for a position, something.
Yeah.
He definitely throws it out there like, I have already made the mistake. I know that I have to be involved in this. I'm going to let these people show that destiny really does come down to the right the right people for their job. And I think that these people, since they represent me, even mortals, because of destiny, will succeed against the rest of you lot.
Yeah, so there better be a bunch of Destiny puns in this, okay? If
Oh.
you're writing this game and you are not
Hard.
throwing Destiny puns or Fate puns in this game, you have failed.
I don't even think just Destiny puns. I think if you can go and like throw in all sorts of Pantheon puns, that'd be great. Like you bring out Hades, you bring out Styx, you bring out even you can do the Roman gods, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, whatever. Have fun with it. Get some together. Go for it. Yes. So how many gods are we talking about? Who is actually
obviously we have Kronos, who,
but he's not competing.
You got Destiny, who isn't, again, that's who you're trying to win favor of. So these are two that you need to have defined, but they don't need to have stats.
Mm-hmm.
But then you need to have things like, again, how many gods are there? Like, isn't the classic competition show some like odd number of people? So you'd have to have 3 to 5, right?
Well, I think a good one in this would be like a Mercury or Apollo, a speedster.
Okay, so I'm just going to write down some speedster god.
Mercury or Apollo, yeah. Since we're not doing we're not doing Loki, I think that a Loki type would be really great in here. It might even be fun to like mix in gods from other pantheons.
Yeah, that's why I'm like sort of saying like some speedster gods, some Loki types. Like, I mean, you can mix and match your pantheon, whatever. Again, it doesn't have to be that the one pantheon is competing for, a date with Destiny. It could just simply be that, you have a bunch of random gods who have decided to show up for the date with Destiny. But you're trying to give them all different strengths to make it kind of interesting in terms of like how you're gonna sort of fight and combat them. So I'd probably say you've got a speedster, you've got a trickster, you could have somebody who's very, I guess your trickster is kind of socially cunning, so you'd probably want somebody who's
strong. You'd want like
strong, or then somebody who's who's potentially, you also might want somebody who's very intelligent or just a very good like social
ooh. You think like a Merlin type, maybe?
Yeah, because so your Loki type could fit into like the really smart category or the social category. And so you kind of want to have them be able to compete against like a wide variety. So now if you give the players in this story kind of each an archetype, the combination of all the players can succeed against all the gods.
Yeah. I think that works out really well. I think that, you pick a couple of gods that match your players' strengths, and then we can go and, come up with some puzzles and some activities they can do where a time god can absolutely tip the scales for you. But you need to make it look good, so.
Yeah, Yeah. So again, let's go back to the introduction here. So the introduction is you're asked to do this, and then
At a bar,
you're
buy some schlub. Yeah.
at a bar by some random guy, not describing anything with the gods. And then
He's my girlfriend is having is running it. My ex-girlfriend is running an event. I don't feel like I should be there and compete, but my family expects me to show up. Could you guys go in my stead? Something real, like, I'll take care of you, I'll pay you, I'll get you something. It's a favor. It's an event. There'll be food there. It's a barbecue.
Yeah, I mean, like, also impressed that like this should be pretty easy. Like, I'll be able to help you. I'll be able to make sure that you succeed and win the games. Like,
Yeah.
this is gonna be. Yeah, I can't participate myself. I've already been ruled ineligible, but somebody's got to participate in my stead. Or that's what I've been told I need to do. Yeah, I need to find somebody else to participate in my place. And so, and I could find as many people as I want to participate. And you lot seem like a great bunch. And I mean, he could like size them up. Like, you have a little conversation here at the start here, like, because like you could be like, you could even sort of have the players kind of catch on to maybe him sizing them up, like, talk about like the brute strength of one of them, the quickness at which how it depends on how in depth and how meta you want to make the intro there. But at the end of the day, you're doing a let's make a one shot here. It can be very simple to the fact of you make the request. It's a one shot. Your players are going to accept your request. Okay.
You don't have to ask them so much. It's like, hey, you met a guy at the bar. He said, can you go to my ex's girlfriend and my ex's barbecue in my stead? She's going to be running games and stuff. I don't feel like going. You guys said yes. It's a one shot. You're allowed
Ask me how
to
I got myself here.
Railroad it. It's fine. Just
so if you want to railroad them, just start them in the clouds and then be like, dude, ask me how I got myself here. Sort of.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's a really great way to start it. Like, you start the game by describing the fact that you're on a battlefield in the clouds on the top of this mountain. An array of gods from various pantheons are around you, and they're expecting you to compete. And then, like, how'd you get here? Cut back. Fine. That sounds great. So, we need a puzzle.
A puzzle. Well, so this is the thing. You have all these different competitions. This is the type of game where a puzzle is, each game is effectively a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you win the games? How do you defeat the gods in the games? Okay. So I feel like you probably want to make it like 3 competitions. Okay. Maybe 4 if you're going to, try to do 1 per like strength of the gods. So you've got like, like a social one, something that's got to do with speed, maybe like a race of some sort. You got the strength god, so there's going to be some sort of like combat or pseudo combat sort of thing. And then you've got the intelligence one where like, you're going to be it involves
memory.
I don't have a good answer for the
so the game I was trying to remember, that the TV show I was trying to remember, was Most Extreme Challenge.
Okay.
Do you remember this at all?
No.
Okay. It is a remake. It's a Americanization of a Japanese game show from the Tokyo Broadcasting System called Takashi's Castle, where they'd have people run through gauntlets. And sometimes it's like a 5x5 grid of rooms, and there are doors leading all over the place, and they're supposed to run through as quickly as possible, but there's guys in the rooms that if they tag you, you're out, sort of thing. There's those where everybody's standing on a platform and like a big sweeping arm rolls around and you've got to jump over it, you've got to duck under it, you've got to run up a hill in a tiny corridor as they drop giant boulders, their foam, down on you, and then you duck into like the sides as you make your way up. Things like that. Absolutely fun times. Those can be sort of the challenges. You can include those sort of things. You've got memory challenges for thinking. You've got racing challenges for speed. You've got like American Gladiator style. You're on a balance beam and you're like fighting with weird foam bow staffs while wearing a brightly colored leotard. No?
American Gladiator.
American Gladiator, yes. Like, go for it. This is supposed to be ridiculous. Like, what sort of competition would you include for dating a god? It's got to be weird. It's got to be interesting. It's got to be fun. It should be completely out there and make no sense. Because you're mortal. Your players are mortal, and they're not going to understand why the gods are doing these weird things. I think that'd be fun.
Pushing a giant boulder up a mountain.
Yeah.
Seeing them all with
Well, one guy has to push the boulder up the mountain while the rest of your party has to battle birds that are coming to take his liver. Okay? Absolutely good time. Right? Yeah, I could see it. You've got to go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, you could do that. You could make it very thematic to any sort of normal game show we have, or anything that's like directly tied to like mythos that's out there.
Yeah, like there could be a river race, on the river Styx. Like you were given a boat and a paddle and told not to look back, and
whatever you do, don't look back. Until you
I'm
hit the
sorry.
other side, keep battling.
That's how this thing works. And like the puzzles could be like, like the cups from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Like one of these contains ambrosia, the rest of them are poison. But instead of Indiana Jones, it's obviously the most ostentatious cup there because they're gods and they're ridiculous. The rest of them are obviously poison, but poison to gods is like what? Water? Apple juice? I don't know. It doesn't have to be like a big deal. I think that all along these puzzles, all along these stages, Kronos should have his finger down on the scale. Right?
Yes.
That whatever puzzles you want to throw at your players, that they seem to come out ahead.
Yes.
And
it's almost as if they are destined to win.
Well, except that they're not. He's cheating. And I think that's your setback. I think at some point the gods need to realize that Kronos is got a finger on a scale. He's skewing the results. He is messing with the competition. And they toss him out.
Okay, so the setback is the other gods determine that he's been cheating and basically allowing you to succeed.
Yes.
In all these
and so I think that leads into, the players now have to compete on their own. And I think it's more direct competition at this point, and they were, you would expect them to be just absolutely destroyed at this point.
Yeah, so I guess at the end of that, you say, okay, there's going to be one final thing, that we're going to do, and we're going to, it's going to be, take your pick. I honestly think that at this point it becomes a brawl against the gods and you. Okay, now here's the twist, another twist. Okay. Kronos was never helping you all along. It was, in fact, destiny.
I was right there with you the whole time. I was right there with you the whole time. She doesn't want to go through with this. She was okay, but like everybody was pushing her for it. So she was the one that she had her finger on the scale of destiny.
Yes. And so in this final competition, which I almost feel like it should be a combat. I think this is a really cool kind of moment where you can now take your players and have them fight gods, but have them fight them on like an even scale, because the scales of destiny have been tipped.
Hear me out.
Okay. All right.
Do you remember American Gladiators?
Yes.
Okay. The final fight in all of those was this battlefield where you had these giant foam bazookas, and you had to like hit the targets, and the blazer and laser and phaser in their onesies were like, firing.
Oh yeah, because you have to dodge behind all those little things as they're firing. Like,
yeah. So your party has to make it across a battlefield. Like, it doesn't have to be as crazy as American Gladiator. In fact, no, I think it does. I think it absolutely has to be. I think that your party should be in those neon onesies the entire time for the competition. And they need big hair. Yes.
Big 80s hair.
Big 80s hair. Like it, and like right after you're done with this, Next Generation needs to come on. So, was it on before Next Generation or after?
I don't remember. I just remember watching it.
And then Next Generation was there. But anyway, yes, absolutely. I think the climax is this big fight, and I think during it, your players should be realizing that there is no way they should be winning against these gods, and that with Kronos out of the picture, who is tipping the scales, and that's when you've got that final resolution where Kronos was never the one tipping the scales. It was always Destiny, and Destiny is not over her relationship with Kronos. And then it's up to the party to, maybe convince a god to give it another shot.
Give it one more shot.
I think that would be a really cool ending where instead of, winning a competition or like, coming across as the victor, it's more of a social victory where you decide to, hey, you never wanted to win this. You've always been pushing for us, and we are just instruments of Kronos, but you have no intention of being with a mortal. You still feel for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm trying to think of how you potentially hook this into a longer game. Like, perhaps no matter how this comes out, like there is one of the gods holds a grudge against you, probably Loki.
I think it goes the other way. I think that if you do a good job here, I think that the gods see your party as like, these mortals are interesting and fun, and we'd like to send them on other adventures and see what things they can get into. Maybe
Okay.
they can help us. Maybe we could have fun with them. And now you are playthings of the gods being sent off into different pantheons to go and do things for them.
Okay. I could see that. Again, I'm trying to think of the sort of patented let's make a one shot like hook
Let's make a
into the
second
next
shot.
game. Yes.
Yeah.
How do you create the longer game should you want there to be one? Like, did your players really enjoy this? If they did, then here's a way to get it to be another game.
Well, and I think that that is really up to the game master to decide. Like, you know your players. You see how they're interacting. You can create little conflicts between the gods and your players. You can create alliances between the gods and your players. You can have fun with the way that you interact. The Hercules is having a good time with this. Loki might be having a good time with this. Merlin thinks this is complete BS, and Apollo is pissed off the entire time because he's supposed to be the fastest. Why can't he win the race? He's not out there for the date. He's out there for his own glory, that sort of thing. And so you could do a little bit of everything for a long-term thing. But more importantly, you should absolutely, when we're picking our gods for this competition, give them those personalities. Some of these gods are vain and arrogant and only looking out for themselves, and they don't care about the date, which in itself is the reason why Destiny has no interest in them. And other ones are in it for the sake of the game and enjoy that. And while they may be interesting and a good fit for Destiny, who seems to be willing to leave things up to chance, except that she's not. Also, hey, question. Why do we assume that Destiny is a woman immediately?
You don't have to assume Destiny's a woman. I'm just speaking because I'm a man. That's what I'm thinking of, a game show that I'm participating in.
But in every thought that I have, and I was just looking through pantheons, Destiny is almost always portrayed as a woman. Is it just the concept that women are inevitable and they control everything? I think so. I think they're important. I think they rule our lives, and it's great. Anyway, no, that's definitely because I'm a man. Yeah, I think that Destiny tips the scales along the way, and it's up to the players to decide based off of the personalities that they've seen, how they want to proceed, whether or not they want to encourage Destiny to go back to Kronos or try out one of the other contestants. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. Short, it's sweet, it's fun. A lot of good stuff there. So let's talk about maps. What maps do we need?
If you are having any sort of mazes or activities where they've got just visual aids, right? Like a maze, absolutely. But don't make it a maze where there's if you look up the MXC game, there's it's like a 4x4 or a 5x5 grid of rooms, and all of the rooms on the inside are connected. There's one entrance on one side, one exit on the other side, and there's people inside. It's not a maze so much as it's just get through it as quickly as possible and avoid the other guys. Same thing with the chute down the mountain where they're dropping rocks on you or anything like that. It doesn't have to be super intricate. It just has to be enough that they can try.
Yes.
But I think that last American Gladiator style, battle map, you might want to put some effort into.
Yeah, that's going to be your big finale right there. If you're not going to have any other mazes, that one definitely is probably going to be useful.
Yes.
The only handouts, so the next one would be, are there any handouts? The only handout I could think of would be is you're going to give the players a puzzle, that you might want them to solve, a physical puzzle to solve.
Or a riddle.
Yeah,
Like give them a
potentially.
printed riddle, yeah.
Something that you want them to work through. So that would be, if it's related to, again, if it's related to one of your competitions, let it be had. I wouldn't just like, I wouldn't hand them anything else in particular, but that'd probably be it.
Like if you're doing this in person, instead of a handout, I might recommend going with a classic Midwestern ambrosia salad and make sure that everybody gets a
Oh.
little bit of that creamy dressing, mushrooms, and shredded coconut fruit salad.
Okay, if you have the wherewithal to have, if you're doing in person and you have the wherewithal to do the cups, okay,
Ooh, yes,
that'd
absolutely.
be fun. That'd be fun.
Like a whole bunch of solo cups and like one goblet.
There you go. That's how you do it. Yeah, you just you can fill up anything, and then like you just have like that one cup that like stands out above the others. You're like,
yeah, and it's the only one, like all the rest of them are filled with water, and that one's filled with apple juice. But it's just like it's the only one that's actually yes.
It's painfully obvious.
And the rest of the gods are completely clueless because, oh my god, they're obviously playing a trick on me. And like, that's the one right there. Yes, a lot of fun. Mobs, bosses. Well, I don't think you need a boss. You just have a bunch of gods. They should have godly stats, but none of their stats matter. Right?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is not, you're not going to get it. This is one of those one shots where you're not going to get into a straight like brawl with the gods. Okay, if you want to do like a combat sort of situation, have the players battle some monsters as part of one of the trials or puzzles or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you could go through like the River Styx or through like a maze or, fight some alligators and some minotaurs, whatever seems to be fun. But the gods themselves are stand-ins, and whatever roles they have are arbitrary because they are not going to win. It will come close. They will try. They will not win.
Yeah, again, you're to build tension, you should have them win some roles. And you should make it like, oh my god, they're like smoking us sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
but then the party finds a
goes
shortcut.
Awry. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the ground opens up beneath you and you see a pathway to the end immediately in front of you. Like it is obvious that something is. It should be obvious within a couple of the puzzles that someone is doing what it takes to make you win.
Yes, and even in the final thing, like the big climax, the American Gladiator themed like final, like where they're shooting things at you, and you're running this gauntlet effectively. The roll should be, some roles should hit and some roles shouldn't hit. Like you want it to appear that the players do have an edge, but not like so obvious that the players stop trying to like think their way through the problem. That it seems as though the players are always sort of making good choices versus getting clobbered by the gods.
Well, and I think that Kronos being caught out right before that and being thrown out, like now you're on your own. Like he's been letting you win this entire time. He's not here to help you. You are on your own in this final battle. And that's not true. That you as the GM are going to still provide just enough.
Basically what you want to do is you want to equalize down the stats. So as you are like making the attack rolls on your players, the players can succeed in like avoiding the attacks because their DCs are sufficient enough. Okay. And then even if you do hit them a few times, sometimes things get kind of wonky. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or you always roll with disadvantage. Okay, your players don't know it, but you can always sort of like kind of fudge fate in the right direction. If you don't feel comfortable just sort of like winging it, like that's a good way to sort of make it where like you've given the gods like reasonable stats now based on your players' stat lines, but they always roll at disadvantage.
Yeah, I think it works out well. I think that having some monsters for them to fight along the way gives them something to do, but the gods themselves are going to be weakened, shall we say. The playing field should be leveled. And I think that, it's a really, this is absolutely a fun time. This is not a grind. This is not a like a horror or anything like that. This is the gods have invited you out to a barbecue and they're, running sack races in the backyard. But the stakes are way high and you're not sure if they're playing. Right?
Do you eliminate a god after every puzzle in a gruesome manner to like make it as though like there is like a major consequence if you lose effectively?
Yeah, but like at the end, they're just all.
But obviously they're gods, so it
gods.
doesn't matter like how gruesome it is. But like Cerberus comes out of nowhere and like drags them.
Like just rips them apart. You just see bits and pieces of them flying everywhere, or like they are crushed under the weight of their own whatever. Yeah, it could be. You could have a little bit of that.
That'd be fun because then you're then like, wait a second. like in the first puzzle, in the first like game or puzzle, then your players go from being like, we can't lose to like, wait a second.
Oh God.
We better not lose.
And like, yeah, in the final gauntlet, everybody who you've defeated has come back and they're like undead versions of themselves facing off against you. So it's you against all the ones that you've said you've defeated. Yeah. That could be a lot of fun too.
Yeah. Throwing it out there as a like
give it.
Oh my God. Sort of like, again, fun should be met by challenge. So you want to intersect those two things so your players feel like the stakes are real and like they could fail in this one shot. They shouldn't fail in the one shot because it's a date with destiny, but but they could, and like that's the fun.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of fun. I think that you could have a lot of style, a lot of flavor in all of these events, in the way that the gods interact, in the way that the puzzles are presented, the way that Destiny involves themselves in the events. Go for it. You should just have a good time with this. This is, once again, like I've said in all of our one-shots, this is about having a good time. This is about having fun with your players. And I think that there's a lot of fun to be had here. The stakes aren't high at all for your players, but they shouldn't know that.
Yes.
And at the end of it,
else you wanna...
No, I'm just thinking like at the end of it, yeah, you can just like all sorts of fun little rivals or friendships with various gods, various pantheons that you can add in, and they can you can tie that into stories for ages. So
yeah. I like it. Well, there you go. Another Let's Make a One Shot in the books. If you have any thoughts on this Let's Make a One Shot, or you have any ideas for a future Let's Make a One Shot, let us know. Level Up Gaming Podcast at gmail.com or facebook.com/levelupyourgaming. Also, the podcast is on YouTube, so you can subscribe there, smash the like button there. Otherwise, go ahead to your favorite podcasting site, review it, recommend it to a friend, give it some stars, whatever you got to do to boost this podcast up further. And that'll wrap us up for the week. So for Josh, I'm Aaron. Have a good week, everyone.
bye.